breaking news story musically. So we just heard and we just saw on Instagram, J. Cole made an announcement that his album, The Fall Off, coming is gonna be coming February the 6th, 2026, 2/6/2026. And he also had a lead single called Fall Off Disc 2 Track 2, which I will do more of like a reaction slash review towards that. But before we get to that, I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown and a background on how this came about. So pretty much this release date, he pretty much announced, he teased his 7th studio album is now official. The Fall Off, no, I don't know why the hyphen either drops February 6th. Of course, and a Cole announcement arrives with a teaser trailer featuring the rappers going about his daily routine, eating food, hanging in the park, washing his Lamborghini Urus, while unnamed narrator talks about the ups and downs of fame. In 2024, Cole released Might Delete Later, mixtape that initially included 7-minute drill, diss track about Kendrick Lamar. The song responds to Kendrick Lamar's explosive verse on Like That, which ignited the now infamous feud between Compton rapper and Drake, and I'm so proud of the project, except for that one part, deleting the song. In 2025, Cole ended his long-time running Dreamville Festival. His last studio album was 2021's The All Season. Now here is the artwork of The Fall Off below. Now, I'm not going to play the song like in its entirety. Hold on, let me do something real quick. I'm going to cut this volume down. Alright, there we go. So basically, for those who are not seeing, this is pretty much the new song, the Fall Off Disc 2 Track 2. So it is going to be a double album. And how do I know this is going to be more of like a double album? Because if you notice, and if you go prelude thefallout.com on his page, and he has a album cover of the album and the vinyl cover of the Fall Off album, which is pretty much him in his, looks like his own, like, has his own drum kick machine, has his own, like, you know, utilities, and he's pretty much writing down like notes. And he took a page out of Nas's playbook with Rewind off of Stillmatic, because if you look at the video and everything, and as I'm showing to you now, but not as far as not playing the whole thing, when I reacted to the song and listened to it on my own, he's pretty much having everything, all the moving objects, all the moving parts going backwards, and specifically those parts going backwards, meaning that everything that he's rapping, that he's coming up inside of his mind, inside of his head, and as he's jotting down and writing, everything is coming to the grips of his career. Like he's pretty much rewinding back the clock of his career as an adult, back all the way when he was a child, raised by his mom, raised by his mother, single mother in the household, back when he was at Forest Hills in North Carolina, in Fayetteville. And that's why I think the 2-6, which he pretty much repped in the Might Delete Later song, Might Delete Later album, excuse me, and referenced that in that record, and he referenced that on the Off Season as well. I believe it was the track called Applying Pressure, where he referenced that as well. I probably will do a full ranking of his albums pretty soon, and also will get that. Oh, hey guys, what's going on? I see you in the chat room. Thanks for watching so far. But yeah, and then here's some more stuff. Of course, you see the album cover, like I said, it's pretty much his own like little drum kick machine. It's pretty much his like recliner, and also just a bunch of records, it looks like, in that cover art. Then of course the video, which is the announcement of the record, and the little yellow and fire font. Hey, what's the question, Aaron Lardison? What's the question? But yeah, no, what I'm saying is that getting back to this, yeah, the video is pretty much of the announcement, which was just him going through, like, just sitting down, eating food, washing off his Lamborghini Urus, and then the narrator comes in and just narrates the falls and the rise of fame, and it rose to superstardom, and the rise to fame, and then the fall off, and then eventually people had celebrity status, people that was higher in celebrity status or athletes begin to fall. So that's what I got from the voice and the narration, and I thought it was pretty interesting that that happened. Um, but yeah, that's what I gathered from this record is from that side alone. But yeah, I love what he did with the cover art, and I like what he did with the announcement, how he set it up, and that font of just basically the fall off, and then the announcement was just try to figure out ways to continue this kind of process. And I think he's gonna have more with this process as far as building up with another single or building up with a track list pretty soon. And yeah, we're 3 weeks away from this album even coming out. A lot of people were asking the question about the It's a Boy. Is that gonna be a full on EP? Is that gonna be a full on record? I think he kind of mentions a little bit of his personal life in that Disc 2 track, where I feel like he's actually talking about and breaking down his own childhood, but at the same time, have when him and his wife pretty much are him and his wife are pretty much raising this child, when he's raising his own child. And I think in that part, how it's kind of like, being a father and being a parent is just as hard as him being raised up on his own. So I think that's kind of like where he's going with that sign in the record. And I absolutely love that track. It was absolute fire. Very much soul sampling, very much strictly just soul sampling with a little mix of a little bit mix of like some 90s R&B fusion in there, a bit in there, but a lot of soul sampling from the announcement ending outro song, and then of course getting into the record. Yeah, it was pretty much a lot of intro a lot of soul sampling in that disc 2 track 2 part. But yeah, I really like what he did with the record, and I thought it was very ominous. I really want to know who's going to be producing this album, because whoever is producing this album, it seems like it's going to be a lot of soul sampling, and it seems like it's going to be a lot of fusion, a mixture fusion of R&B, and a little bit of mixture and fusion of like choirs, and like a little bit of like just like a female artist, a female singer is going to be in there as well. And I feel like it's gonna be some narration too. It feels like it's gonna be somewhat of a concept record. It's what I'm getting from it is gonna be like more of a concept record. And the reason why I say that is because just from this video alone and track 2 disc, I think this is gonna be more of like his own way, his own concept of talking about and relating to his own career. And his own career pretty much is just recapturing the moment of when he first came out with the warm-up and Friday Night Lights. Here goes a little bit more detail. Yeah, pretty much how I said before, he was rapping about his life in reverse. And this is according to Complex. Yeah, so the Dreamville rapper released a new song, which is part of his rollout for highly anticipated album The Fall Off, labeled Disc 2 Track 2 alongside a striking video that opens with a written statement from Cole about the album's long decade journey, which he talks about like his 10-year ride-along journey. The title reads in the mission statement with Cole saying that the project has been handcrafted from the past 10 years and framing it as something that he owed himself and to hip-hop. And once the track kicks in, Cole takes listeners through this story, taking a creative leap by rapping about his life in reverse. The music video leads fully into the concept, showing that Cole is in a room once he appears to rewind around him his movements, sequences, and visuals that suggesting his life backwards. The video matches the song's narrative, which plays like a memoir being unspooled from the end to the beginning. My life is seen in reverse. Curl raps the start on the track and begins opening with a haunting scene that starts with his death. I first appeared in the hearse and continues describing the funeral and the family in tears, only for the story to rewind decades at a time. From there, Cole gives fans a reverse highlight reel flashing through the late career accolades, purpose, fatherhood, relationships, fame, temptation, touring, industry pressure, before ultimately rewinding all the way back to his childhood. Time collapses in reverse as Cole references removing the wedding ring, club nights, early grind, and then movement from his rap dreams begin, ending at the start of his life, and he reflects on his father re-entering in his world and his identity forming. Yeah, so pretty much, for like I said before, pretty much Cole is rapping from the perspective of, his own life, through the downfalls and those like fatherhood relationships and of course fame, the purpose, temptation, everything of that, everything about the sun, and that wrapped up in a bowl. He's just wrapped up in a bowl. He's pretty much talking about his own life, like the movements, the gestures, the sequences, and all the visuals. He's pretty much telling you what's going on, really what's going on personally, internally, that's affected him, and why it took so long, 5 years, from the off season, but 10-year long wait of even creation and the process of this record. And he feels like now this is the perfect time to really go through and really, really show it. And I really like what he did with this track two, because again, it also pays homage and references to, of course, Nas, who's pretty much probably gonna look at this record and really, really appreciate the sentiment and the purpose and the life perspective and thoughts that Cole was really approaching to the record. Not just the homage. So really, really dope record, and really, really good way of really showcasing just all of the downfalls and all of the pitfalls and everything as he was at the top, and as sometimes those rocky roads end up going out and pretty much spiraling into a downward trend instead of an upward trend. And our fame can pretty much be an ugly monster, pretty much, at the end of the day. But yeah, that's just what I gather from that part of the track. And again, this is from what I'm reading on Complex. Shout out to them. Let me see if I can go over the... But yeah, here we go. So as I was getting to the record, he raps this in track two, Disco. I'm gonna just go over a few lyrics that I really like. The driver steered into the church. My grandkids carried a coffin to the altar as they burst into tears from their shirts. The tears rise to the sides and they face into their eyes. It's piercing with hurt. Fast forward 60 years, I got the verse of the year. My purpose is clear. It's to murk whoever dare flirt with death. The best alive, and you know what here is the work. The inspiration is rare and sparse. When it's there, I'm immersed. My experiences of being a parent disperse. When watching my son disappears, I stare at his birth. As he returns to the womb, wife's stomach growing greater in girth. And they reclining every time where we come to nurse. With each day that passes, I could feel my career coming first. I took the wedding ring off of her finger. Now I'm single, walking up the aisle backwards to a narrow dirt, falling club tipsy seeing it clear through a skirt. Cameras snapping, blogs be yapping. I'm careful, alert. Watch it to my section, whispering right to my ear. We flirt, we part ways. I see from a distance, we stare with a smirk. Cheers with the perks with the squad that we live for the search of the new hoes. So pretty much, yeah, Cole is really going rewinding backwards and in reverse style, looking at other things about, just the overall purpose, the relationships, fatherhood and fame and everything about it. Just rapping from how he's older in this grown stage going from backwards into it all his own circumferences and circumstances, right? So that's what I got from just reading those lines and really looking at it from that perspective. And I thought it was a really, really dope way of looking at it from that perspective in the record, man. And I cannot wait for what's going on with the Fallout, with that, and also the Fall Off album. But yes, this album is gonna come out February the 6th, 2026. I don't know as much about the track list that's gonna be on there, and from what I've seen from Genius, it's got this kind of track list, like War Games, Who the F is You, but that's not really. I gotta see more in the track list. I gotta see more to really be for certain that's gonna be there. But from what I'm hearing, from just this record alone, yeah, it feels like it's gonna be an amazing album. Probably even one of Cole's magnum opus records, man. Gonna be the best one I'm gonna be hearing since Forest Hills Drive, and probably even Friday Night Lights. I definitely got that feeling this is gonna be on the same level. And he's already still in his prime at the age of 40. You know, this man is 40 years old and he's still rapping like he's in his prime. You know what I mean? Like that's just crazy that he's even in that kind of stage. And for me, I've been following this man since the warm up at Friday Night Lights back when I was like 11, 12 years old, and now I'm 27 years old. Man, that's just something for you, man. That's just something of your career that you follow and your favorite artists as they're going into that direction and really, really transitioning into something for real that's going to be all the way through momentum shift. So I can't wait to see what he does next. And that's pretty much my thoughts about this record and pretty much what I thought about the album. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments section below. Thank y'all for who is watching, liking, and commenting and sharing. I'm out. Peace.